Guys, this is Nightwolf13557 here, coming back with you with some more gameplay. Now, as you can see, today we are going to be covering the D-Class Voodoo, which is personally one of my top 5 favorite cars in the game. Now, it's not, at first, nothing much to look at. As you can see, it's got the rust on and everything like that, and sadly, guys, there is no clean version of this vehicle. But hopefully, sometime in the future, they will be bringing that. But I personally find this a really nice. It is a muscle car, but it isn't the best for getting away from if you just got done robbing a convenience store. It's not the best getaway, even though it is a vintage muscle car. Doesn't have that speed part onto it. But it's still a really cool car, guys, to just drive around with your friends. It's not something you see every day, and it is a rare spawn. Just putting that out there. It's not the easiest thing to find. And you will find this thing driving around at night. You will find this thing usually driving around at night. I find it personally at 19, directly at 19, or between 14 through 19. Now, we are going to be taking a look at where this area, it usually spawns at, which is right here, Sandy Shores. Now, I found mine right here. It was parked. It's usually parked beside the Bravado Surfer van, I believe it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Now, that is another car that if you guys would like me to do a video on, it's not one of my personal favorites, but still it's a really cool car. Again, it's not something you see driving around. And there is 3 versions of this car. There is the rusty version, there is the clean one, and the not so rusted version. Now, obviously, you guys probably know the Surfer. It is a remodel of the Volkswagen. But getting back on to what we were talking about, we are going to be heading to Sandy Shores today to get some gameplay and hopefully get some luck on finding this car again. Because as you can see, this is my car that I got from my garage. It is mine, and just to prove it, as you can see on the map there, it's my car. You can see the car symbol on there. This is mine. And it took me 2 days, guys, so don't get mad if you can't find this. This took me 2 days to find. And as you can see, I can barely even make it up the hill starting out. It took me like 5 seconds there for me to even pick up speed to climb the hill. So again, guys, this isn't the best car to get away with, but still, it's a very unique car, and I don't see anybody on GTA Online ever driving this around. Maybe a few people, but I haven't seen one yet. But still, again, it's a very cool car. There's not a lot of customization for it, guys. I wouldn't say it is. If you're more into old vintage cars, and you can overlook the rust and maybe the shape of it. Maybe you're not a big fan of the shape, but it's still a very cool car, guys, to just drive around with your friends and just have some fun. Now, this car is, again, one of my personal top favorite, just because, it has speed eventually if you pick up. But again, guys, it's not the easiest to steer. It's got some weight onto it, and the brakes aren't really all that good. This car I find very unique just because of the shape of it and the style, and it's not really a car that you see every day driving around, which I think that makes it unique. Even with the tires I put on this with the customization, now this thing is fully customized, you can obviously tell that I put off-road tires on it to see if it really did make a difference for the vehicle. And honestly, guys, it makes kind of a little difference between climbing hills, but again, it doesn't have as much horsepower as you would want it to if you need to make an escape and get over a hill quicker. It's not that kind of vehicle. I just find it best for showing off, driving around, and it's not, or maybe you can hold some car shows with your friends. Now, as you can see, guys, it's very, very a heavy car, and I just really like it just because of, it's unique. I find a lot of unique cars that I really, really like just because of they're one of a kind. You don't see a lot of people driving them, and a lot of people don't like them, so they don't bother with them. But, that's what I like to drive, because, when you drive them around, and honestly, guys, no one's probably going to steal this from you, so that's one upside from it, because a lot of people are probably not even going to want to even come close to this car. But again, it's a personal favorite of mine. I really like it. It took 2 days for me to find this car to show you guys. But it is a very hard spawn. You might have to drive up and down the street for a little bit just to get it to spawn. but when you do get it, I really suggest that you are going to like it, and it's going to be a very unique car to add to your collection if you don't have it already. Now, we are entering Sandy Shores now, and again, just like in the last video, I personally like Sandy Shores just because, you know, it gets away out of the city for a bit, and not many players come out here, so you kind of got, like, privacy out here where you're not having to worried about somebody blowing up your car or anything like that. Now, this car can usually be found driven around, but it's very rare. I find it usually better to spawn at dawn and night. But now there is a few places where these cars spawn, and the first place I will take you to, and I'll show you on the map. Now I happen to find this being driven around, and just, well, what happened was, guys, honestly, I was about to give up looking for it because I thought it wasn't spawning, and I was driving over a bridge, and I was just about to leave Sandy Shores, and I seen it was being driven. I'm like, oh my goodness, so I need to have this car. You know, I spent 2 days looking for it. I'm not just going to let it get past me like that easily. So I did look for it, and I got it, and I automatically put insurance on it because I was afraid that when I was driving home, something would have happened to it and I would have lost it. So luckily, I did get it. Now, we are coming up to the place where it does spawn. Now, this is where I found mine. I found mine right here in this park lot. I'm going to show you. I found mine right here. This is where I found mine, and there should be a gang attack here, I believe, which spawns here usually. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, but this is, I think, where the gang attack happens, and it has a very high chance of spawning it. The other place is a little bit trickier and takes longer for it to spawn, but still, if either one works, honestly, this car still takes a while to spawn. I don't have a precise percentage for you guys. I can't say it spawns 50% or 100%, but it will spawn eventually if you keep driving up and down the street. Now, the second place spawns in a parking lot, and it is right over here. This is where I found another spawn location for it. When I was driving by, I found it. Sadly, I didn't get it for you guys, and I don't know why it didn't spawn. Again, it usually spawns around night. But this is where I found mine, my second one, driving around. But then they usually drive around in this area the most. You have a better chance of finding them driving around than you do than just, you know, getting lucky and finding them parked. So, guys, this is the D-Class Voodoo, and it's a very unique car. I personally like it, and you guys should give it a try. This is Froggy Gaming and Nightwolf13557 giving you guys some more information on my favorite cars and super cool cars that are out there, and some that are not so much, but when they're customized, they can be very cool. So peace out, guys.